All right, for the next assignment, what we're going to do is we are going to work with Zentangles to create value, or at least quadrants. And the way we're going to do that is we are going to create a low poly design. And for this, I'm going to let you use any existing person or image. So you may use a self-portrait if you'd like, but for my example, I'm going to be using a celebrity, a musician. So what we're going to end up with is something similar to what you see in the bear picture here. Now we could do this analog style by hand and break it down, and there'd be nothing wrong with that. And when we get to the actual drawing stage, we are still going to have to do some of those things. But we're going to use the digital tools that we have at hand to try to make the process easier. For this, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need a picture. For mine, I already went and found a picture of, like I said, a musician. And we are going to go to a site called Luna Pic. So if you just go in Google and you search Luna Pic, that'll bring it up. And here we are. And what I'm going to do is open that file. So I'm going to upload image from my computer. And we're not going to use David Bowie. We're going to use Amy Winehouse. All right. So right now you can see large picture of Amy Winehouse. We can crop things, we can scale them, but we are still going to take this into Photopea in the end. Now we can do a lot of stuff in this program, but there's a lot of things in here that we're not even going to have time to talk about. So I'd rather just take what we need and then go back to the program that you're already familiar with. So what we're going to do here is we are going to use let's see, it's under art. Okay, so you're going to go up here to art, and you'll see where it says sketch 2. Now it's kind of hard to find this. So again, we're clicking on art, and then sketch 2 is right here. And what you need to do, just give it a second, is it has all these options. And the reason it's confusing is these little arrows are kind of hard to see. There's an arrow there. Now you can click the arrow, or you can just click and drag. And what I want you to do, there's a lot of neat filters. You can play with this. But again, what we really want is we're just going to use it to make a polygonal design. So right here it says polygons. We're going to click that. And basically this is what we want. Now it does, you can adjust it from the original image, but we want 100%. We want this basically broken into where it's showing us more shades. Okay, so we have direct polygons. Now, could we do this by hand in Photopea? Absolutely. But the project where we actually do this is going to take enough time, so we're just going to do this the simple way. So again, all I did was I clicked polygons under sketch 2. So again, in art, sketch 2, and then I went and found polygons in this list. I'm going to save this file. Now you can save it as a PNG or JPEG, however. I'm going to save it as a JPEG. And it just downloaded there. Okay, you can see the name of it. Then we're going to go to Photopea. Now again, like I said, we could do a lot of this in this other LunaPic program, but I really just want to stick with Photopea. And Photopea is more of a clone of Photoshop, and I want you to really have more comfortable feelings using Photoshop in the future if you ever get to. All right, we're going to go File, Open. And again, we should be able to find that work more than likely in our downloads. Okay, so it's right here. Image edit. So there it is. All right. So now we have my design, and it is loaded here into Photopea. As always, I'm going to make a duplicate of my background and turn it off in case something goes wrong and I need to jump back to that stage. So the next thing I want to do is we're going to be doing this with just a pen and white paper. So we don't want any of this color, so we're going to desaturate it. So we're going to go Image, Adjustments, down here to desaturate. Now you could also do things such as crop in this stage. And the other thing I want to do is I think that it would probably help you if we made it a little more contrast or a little darker. So we can see a lot of different value changes here. And what we're going to end up doing with this is just like on the bear, wherever these are value changes, this would be a different Zentangle pattern. So basically, if we look at this, we've got a lot of changes here, and I feel like it's probably too many to be successful for my project. So what I'm going to do is go to Image, I'm going to go to Adjustments, and I'm going to mess with the brightness and contrast. So instead of having tons and tons of gradients in here, we're left with fewer. Again, this is something that's going to be a personal design to you, so we could make it actually darker, and we can actually see some of these a little better where we have more of a black and a gray versus all sorts of different shades. Now, again, I have my contrast really bumped up here, but again, if we leave it too gray, we have too many of those different value scales. And again, we're going to have enough issue making our values stand out using Zentangles enough that we don't really want to have too many changes. Again, you can play around with the brightness and contrast as much as you need to where you're happy. Now, I think it looks a little better being a little darker. And again, we're going to make executive decisions when we actually do this with a pen. So in here on her arm, if you see this, there's a light, like a mid-tone, a little darker of a mid-tone, and like a shadowy area. When we go to do this by hand, we might make these two into one design or one pattern in an effort to simplify it. And we can do that later. We don't have to do everything digitally right now. So again, I'll hit OK. Once I'm done here, I'm going to simply go File. I'm going to export the image as a JPEG. And again, you can put it at the highest quality, hit Save. You can also rename it. That would be very helpful first. And then you're going to turn that in to the classroom page. I will print these for you, and in class, I'm going to show you how to do the transfer step where we actually do this on a piece of paper. But this should get you to the polygonal and break down your image for what you need for the project.